Arsenal have been a weird case this season. Fans expected Arteta's men to lead a title charge and potentially obtain their first Premier League title since 2004. However, instead of being compared to Sir Alex's dominant United of old, they're being compared to Tony Pulis' Stoke City? Why? It's all to do with set pieces. So, what's the issue? Set pieces are good to maximise. It can give you a marginal advantage against your opponent. But when you rely on set pieces too much, you become one-dimensional, and Arsenal are at risk of doing just that. Recently, I've been having a look at the effects of set pieces on team performance and rankings, and some of the results I've found are worrying for the Gunners. Let's take a look at why exactly Arsenal's reliance on set pieces are such an issue. Arsenal have been dominant with set pieces this season, generating 6.2 XG so far at the time of writing. This is about a goal and a half more than Aston Villa, whose set piece play got a lot of praise last season. Of all the teams in the Premier League, Arsenal rely most on set pieces. 23.23% of Arsenal's XG have come from their set plays, especially from corners. That's more than Dyche's Everton and more than Chelsea, Bournemouth and Tottenham's shares put together. But other teams in the top regions of the league are placed at the bottom of the list for share of XG from set pieces. Arsenal are unconventional for a top team, and this method of keeping up with the league leaders isn't great. Teams will eventually figure out how to stop Arsenal's set piece routines, even if it means physically stopping their defenders, like Adama Traore did for Fulham recently. The big issue for Arsenal is, once their set pieces are mitigated, the team's performances and results will likely decline. One way of looking at a team's performance without just reading results is by using expected points. Without going into too much detail, expected points uses statistical distributions and XG to assign each team a number between 0 and 3 based on how likely they were to win a game given their chances over that match. Check out the Backseat Baller website for an article coming soon taking a deeper look at expected points. There, you can also take a look at a couple strikers Arsenal could sign to help solve their problems, including Omar Marmoush. Using our expected points model, we can say that based on Arsenal's performances in game, they should be third. At the time of writing, Arsenal are third. In fact, Arsenal's 6-point deficit should be closer to 1, with their 26.7 expected points much closer to the top than in actuality. So, Arsenal are fine, right? Well, let's take a look at the expected points table after removing XG generated from set pieces. Suddenly, they've dropped out of the top 4 completely, dropping to 24.5 expected points. Arsenal's performances this season have been heavily dictated by their set piece performance. In fact, looking at the difference between expected points with and without set pieces, Arsenal lose the most amount of points when only looking at open play. Once you take away their corner routines, their performances suffer the most of any team in the league. On a slightly related note, United and Chelsea fans should look with a bit of concern as well, being on the flip side of this argument. Both teams are being negatively impacted by set-piece performance, with their open play expected points much higher than their actual total. In the case of United specifically, set-piece defense has been horrible this season. Fixing these set-piece issues will help the team greatly. So, what does this mean for Arteta? He needs to find a way to get Arsenal creating an open play again. Once teams figure out how to nullify the team's corner threat, things will get even more frustrating for fans. This style of play is not sustainable, and looking at the underlying numbers, it's a much bigger issue than what it seems like on the pitch. After all, Stoke City never won a Premier League,